Bob, why don't you explain a little bit to the Italian public about this thing in Ethiopia?
Well, I think everybody knows that there is a shameful human crime taking place in Eastern Africa at the moment, and it's a crime that all of us are implicitly guilty in that the grain silos of Europe and the American Midwest are bursting with food. And there is no logical or political or moral or financial reason why those silos should not be opened immediately and sent from Europe and America to help keep those people alive. And I think that in 1984 it is a terrible thing and a shameful thing that we've allowed it to happen. And so what we've done as musicians is, like everybody else, we've put our hand in our pocket and given some money, but that isn't enough. I think it's such an appalling tragedy of such dimensions that it calls for more to be done. And the maximum that I can do is to give something of myself. And what I do is I think up songs, and what everybody else in bands does is think up songs. So we got together on this one day, 25th of November 1984, the greatest rock bands in the world got together to make one song called Do They Know It's Christmas? And all the money from this record, publishing and sales, t-shirts, posters, photographs, TV documentaries, videos, every penny will go to help keep somebody alive this Christmas. And we make the records, you buy the records. What you can do is go out and buy this record now, because it should only be God who is allowed to give the gift of life or death to somebody, but in this case it's in our hands, and this Christmas you can actually give somebody the greatest gift that it's possible to give them life. So buy this record and save somebody's life.
When did you get this idea to get all the bands together?
About 10 days ago, 12 days ago.
Wasn't it hard to get all those people together in such a short time? Just
yes, don't I look tired?
You do.
I rang up Sting, and I rang up Simon Le Bon, and I rang up Midge Ure from Ultravox.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about Midge.
Who were old friends of mine. And they immediately said yes. I mean, Simon, Duran Duran were in Germany that day, and they said they just cancel it and fly back. And Spandau Ballet were in France, and they had a concert, and they went to bed at 3 in the morning, and they chartered a plane for 5 in the morning to make sure they got back to England. Boy George flew in on Concorde from New York. U2 had one day off on their world tour, and they spent it in Dublin, but when I rang them up, they just got on a plane and came over.
Yeah.
Sting, it was his son's birthday, and he just came in with all his family and had the birthday party in the recording. Wham were in there, Phil Collins, Heaven 17, David Bowie, Paul McCartney, Big Country, Marilyn, Bananarama, Kool and the Gang, the Boomtown Rats, Ultravox, I don't know who else, millions of people.
Well, what was it like having all those big stars in one room?
Like being down at the local pub.
And you wrote the song, the words, the music, everything.
Yeah, well, I wrote it with Midge.
Okay, with Midge, I was going to ask you what Midge Ure had to do with this.
I had a song already, and I wrote the words for this song on top of it. And Midge sent me down a tape, and he said, "What do you think of this? It sounds very Christmassy." So we put my part first and his part at the end, and then we just put a middle part together in.
Okay. I'd like to thank you, Bob. That's it.
Okay.
Okay.